Rochester police still do not know who's behind a drive-by shooting in Northwest Rochester Sunday morning. Players who suffered at least one concussion with a loss of consciousness developed more memory problems later in life. Good morning, Rachel. It is gorgeous out here at Badger Ridge Park in Northwest Rochester. Less than 2 weeks after ground was broken, work is well underway at the site of Austin's new Spam Museum. As you head out the door this morning in Rochester, you might want to give yourself a little extra time. Good morning, Rachel. It all ends here on Sunday morning. Runners will cross the finish line outside of the Mayo Civic Center in Rochester. In all, there are 41 indictments. Reporter Beth McDonough takes us through the extensive investigation and has details on the so-called ringleader. For this, here we go. I'm looking at the camera. I'm not going to let it fall. Oh man, there we go. You saw it here. It's going to fall. I looked at it. I broke the rules. Well, this weekend marks the annual fishing opener in Minnesota. Minnesotans love to fish, and like we were saying, we love our records. The fish are this big, we swear. Everywhere, all fish. I'm out here live at Perkins North right now. Stomach is rumbling and it smells delicious in here, and I'm starving this morning. I may have to get some breakfast here in a little bit, but today is a special day at Perkins. The death toll is now up to 20 people this week in catastrophic flooding in Texas and Oklahoma, and this morning the threat is not over. I'm out here at 97.5 Pulse FM Med City Morning Show with Tom Garrett. I'm testing my hand or my voice out at radio this morning.
And reciprocally, yeah, I got the camera. I'm not used to having cameras here.
The historic 1918 school building, which was sold to a preservation group last year, could be the new home of a 24-unit housing complex.
You don't want to go hug and kiss your kids right now. I don't know what would make you.
I want to hug and kiss that kid. And then just beyond that is actually Soldiers Field Veterans Memorial, just to give you an idea of exactly where all this is going to be happening. Good morning, and walking out the door this morning, bundle up, get your car heater ready to turn on because it is a chilly one. A pair of Airwalk tennis shoes. That's what Rita Seha was wearing on her feet Saturday as she stood up and spoke in front of a crowd at Bethel Lutheran Church.
Loved fishing, was a good mechanic.
She was sharing her story. A story that begins in tragedy and ends in forgiveness. And a story that begins and ends with those tennis shoes.
Yes, there's dry blood on the back of them from the accident.
Rita was wearing those shoes on May 23, 2009. That's when a drunk driver fell asleep at the wheel and crashed into the van Rita was riding in. Her fiancé, 2 of her children, her grandson, and a close friend were all killed.
That crash dramatically changed my life forever.
Rita was the only survivor, and over the past 6 years, she's been learning to cope with her loss. From the funeral of her children, which took place at Bethel Lutheran Church.
I had quite a tough time knowing there was a casket sitting there at one point that had my loved ones in it.
To the trial of the man responsible, Chris Frisch. We talked to him 2 years ago while he was serving his 5-year prison sentence.
In all reality, I'll never be free because I'm still holding on to that. So, that's something I got to deal with every day.
He's also the man that Rita has a message for.
I wanted him to hear from me about the forgiveness, that I forgave him, and that he and somehow, and if I could help, needed to forgive himself, because that's a huge thing. Terry's seat and my seat.
Rita has spent the past 6 years touring the state, speaking to people about the dangers of drinking and driving.
He made a bad choice to drink and drive one night, and that will affect his life and mine, emotionally and financially, forever.
But it's that message of forgiveness Rita also wants people to hear. A message she shared with these students in Winona on Wednesday. A message she delivered with Chris, recently released from prison, standing by her side.
My friend and my side partner as a survivor. Together, him and I will try to keep this word going to help prevent it from happening to anybody else.
And a message she shared once again at Bethel Lutheran Church on Saturday. Chris in the audience.
I'm proud to be able to stand up here today and say that I forgive him because God has forgiven me, and I know God has forgiven him.
And those tennis shoes, size 10, Airwalks, are just a small reminder of how many steps Rita has taken to get to this point, and how many steps she will take in the future.
Turn the page to the next chapter of my life. They'll never be forgotten, never, ever in myself. I will remember them every day until I no longer am on the earth. But it's okay to move on.
Brown paper packages tied up with strings. These are a few of my favorite things.
Some of Rose Miller's favorite things include singing,
Doorbells and sleigh bells and schnitzel with noodles.
jumping on the trampoline, and being a princess. And as some 9-year-olds do, she has little brother problems.
James goes to preschool. He wakes me up every time on the weekends. He doesn't let me help him buckle, and he doesn't share the upstairs bathroom, and he tells me what to do.
But unlike most 9-year-olds, Rose struggles with something you can't see just by looking at her.
Well, right away they knew that something was wrong with her because they had what is called floppy baby syndrome. So, like, when we went to go pick her up, she didn't have very much muscle.
The hardest part of all of it, I think, was just to watch her get stuck with a needle, you know, to draw blood over and over and over again, and the waiting, not knowing what it was.
After more than 2 months of testing, Rose's parents, Alyssa and David, got their answer.
But then at 76 days old, we found out that she has Prader-Willi syndrome. And it's something that isn't curable. It was scary. Like, we went outside and I just cried.
Prader-Willi syndrome, according to Mayo Clinic, is a rare genetic disorder. The main symptom, a constant sense of hunger.
I like Sloppy Joes.
She will never feel full. That's just the main aspect of Prader-Willi.
We started out at a really young age with her on a set schedule and set diet.
Prader-Willi also comes with low muscle tone and delayed physical and mental development. And that sense of never feeling full can be very dangerous.
What can potentially happen is they'll eat until their stomach bursts open and releases the toxins into their body. So it's very, very important not to overfeed someone with Prader-Willi.
So for Rose and her family, meal times can be difficult.
She's snuck food before, where we'll find candy wrappers.
I feel sad because I want to eat a lot of food, but I can't, and it's hard for me to understand that I can't eat too much.
We try to definitely limit the amount of food that she gets on her plate while making sure she gets a well-balanced, fruits, vegetables, grain, protein at every meal. But then we also limit the amount of time that she eats, so that, if you let her, she'll sit there and eat for an hour and a half, and we just kind of, keep it under a manageable time so that she's really not getting too much.
And Rose's future is still very much unclear, her parents not even knowing if she'll be able to ever live on her own.
Right now, it's really just a guessing game. She's doing great right now. That could change at any moment. There's so many families out there that have to lock up their fridges and cupboards, and that their child or teen or whatever has to have 24-hour supervision. They cannot be left alone at all, or they will go digging through garbages or eating dog food.
But what is clear is Rose's vision of the future. What do you want to be when you grow up, Rose?
Cop, queen, princess, and I want to work at the Mayo Clinic.
And until then, she just plans to keep on singing.
Wild geese that fly with the moon on their wings.
In Byron, Brianna Long,
Are my favorite things.
ABC 6 News.
Dresses with blue satin sashes, snowflakes that stay on my nose and my lashes, silver white winters that melted to springs. These are a few of my favorite things. When the dog bites, when the bee stings, when I'm feeling sad, I remember my favorite things, and then I don't feel so bad.
It is a product you likely have right in your kitchen pantry, peanut butter. But what you may not know is that there is a company right here in southeast Minnesota that makes it.
As ABC 6 News anchor Brianna Long shows us, PB Crave is cooking up some unique concoctions in Cannon Falls.
It's peanut butter jelly time! Peanut butter jelly time! Peanut butter jelly time! Where you at? Where you at?
In order to have peanut butter jelly time, you have to start with the peanut butter.
Peanut butter jelly!
And there's plenty of it at Kurt's Peanut Butter Company in Cannon Falls. It's the home of PB Crave.
PB Crave is a all-natural peanut butter. We have 4 different flavors.
PB Crave is a little different than your typical peanut butter. They incorporate other flavors into the mix.
It's Razzle Dazzle. It's a raspberry with white and dark chocolate. Cocoa Bananas, which is a banana with chocolate. We have Choco Choco, which is a double chocolate. And then we have Cookie Nookie, which is our cookie dough.
Company execs also claim it's a healthier option.
There's some big hazelnut spread companies out there that are doing fantastic. They've got 20 plus grams of sugar, where we come in at our bananas only got 3. So.
And when you buy it, you're also helping out children in need.
We do support an agency called Project Peanut Butter with this, so we know that for every jar of products that we're selling, we're going to help malnourished children throughout the world.
The company is relatively new, only about 2 years old, and it was started by a man who didn't even like peanut butter.
But he wanted to have the peanut butter he did like, and we just started to come up with some different formulations and flavors, and kind of sprung from there, and we figured, okay, let's give this a shot.
And 2 years later, the word has spread like, well, you know.
The feedback is tremendous.
On our Facebook, we've had all kinds of people posting different recipes. We've had people using it in pasta and pies, and you name it, it's being used.
If you want to stop him, it's going to take everything you have.
And coming up this summer, this small company is getting in business with the big screen.
We do have a relationship, we're partnering with 20th Century Fox. They are promoting a new movie that launches in August called The Fantastic Four. And we actually have new labels and a new shipper display that will have the 4 characters, Fantastic Four characters on Fantastic Four products of peanut butters.
We can tell you all about how the company is doing, but the big question, how does it taste?
Most of my bites are getting bigger each time I go into one. As a peanut butter lover myself, I had to taste test all 4 of these flavors. The winner, in my book, Razzle Dazzle.
Yes, in fact, I even keep one in my briefcase because my favorite way is to eat it out of the jar.
And with so many people eating it out of the jar or on a PB&J, demand is increasing. Right now, the company puts out about 4 pallets a day. In just a few weeks, they're increasing that to 10. And the hope is, of course, to keep on growing.
We do probably have 17 other flavors in what we call the vault. So we'll start R&D in some things, and just have fun.
In Cannon Falls, Brianna Long, ABC 6 News.